Welcome back to Keeping It Classic, Townsend Harris High School's official student-run podcast. I'm your host, Kwarteng, working with Admitted, the Classics College Admissions podcast in this crossover episode. Admitted features former Townsend Harris students who were accepted into their dream colleges. Now Ryan will take it away.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Season 4 of the Classics Admitted podcast. Today we have a very special episode because have you just been waitlisted from your dream school? Well, that was Aiden and Karen, and they're here to tell you it's going to be okay. Today, they're joining us to talk about how they got accepted after being waitlisted, and they're going to read their letters of continued interest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Karen, and I will be attending the University of Michigan.
Hi, I'm Aiden, and I'm going to be going to Williams. So when I was on Google trying to figure out how to write a letter to begin with, I feel like we don't write much letters these days. It's all like essay type writing. When I looked up stuff about loci, it said that you should write it to the person that signed off on your waitlist letter. So I'll just read it. Dear Liz Creighton and members of the Williams College Admissions Committee, thank you for taking the time to review my application and allowing me a spot on the waitlist. Williams has been the school, the place I want to spend the next 4 years of my journey since I visited my friend on campus. There, I was introduced to the spirit of Williams. I met the community of East, which is their mascot, who, while being driven, would always support me, a second family. Simply put, if admitted, I would be overjoyed to attend Williams College. Throughout my life, the idea of getting a new Lego set has made me almost euphoric. Each piece is put together to reveal a feat of modern engineering. The building process helps quiet my world, and I often can't help but think about life as a Lego set waiting to be built. In the past few months of senior year, I have made indescribable progress building this year's Lego set. By continuing my research at the Levitz Lab in the Weill Cornell Graduate School of Medical Studies, I have used my experience in various types of neuroscience research, from microscopy to mice behavior, to contribute to my mentor's paper, which is closer than ever to publication. It is a physical testament to my ever-growing passion for neuroscience since my grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Since submitting my application, I have used my position on the student union to help students of color feel seen in my school community, from spearheading the effort to switch the classical music played on the loudspeaker to music that corresponds with each Heritage Month, or leading the Equity and Access team to implement new middle school enrollment policies that will increase Black, Brown, and low-income enrollment. These initiatives have easily become some of my proudest achievements in high school. On my school newspaper, The Classic, I wrote articles that started much-needed conversations. One such article was on what changes to affirmative action could mean for the future of college admissions and the racial division within my school on the topic. Reporting on petitions for the president of the Alumni Association to be removed from his position following accusations of him being transphobic has helped shine a light on the issues faced by both trans and cisgender athletes. I have started developing my passions and laying the bricks of my life. But with any large Lego set, there are multiple books with instructions on how to complete your build. Williams is the place where I hope to start that next book. So, let me take you through what a day in the life would look like for me at Williams. After leaving the Frosh Quad, I make my way to my Psychology 101 class. Not only am I excited to be getting a deeper understanding of the field of psychology, but I can't wait for the classes I can take after completing this one. From neuroscience and neuroethics to social psychology, I look forward to the knowledge I will gain from these courses. Next, I make my way to Africana Studies, immersing myself in courses ranging from African dance and percussion and hip-hop culture to thinking and acting politically in the long civil rights movement. They allow me to more deeply appreciate the cultures and members of the African diaspora who have made countless contributions to the world we know today and go unnoticed by many people. After grabbing lunch at Lee's Snack Bar, I head to the rest of my classes, one of those being my Arabic class, a step up from my 10-minute Duolingo sessions in the mornings or lessons from my friends in high school. I attend the language table almost every week and try to use the new vocabulary I spent hours studying at the Davis Center, even though I struggle to pronounce the letters, and then I put an Arabic letter. At Williams, I don't have to put aside one passion for another and can fully explore my academic and extracurricular interests. On some days, I write for The Record, nurturing the love for journalism I discovered during high school. On other days, I go to Kasika practice. I've always wanted to become a better dancer. Each practice is an opportunity to leave my comfort zone and share aspects of my culture through dance and music. I also sing R&B songs with Purple Rain. Our voices work somewhat effortlessly to create a beautiful symphony. We even shared some of my favorite songs with my peers during Mountain Day. I watch my friends' comedy shows, go to jazz nights, and lose my voice cheering amongst generations of Eves at the annual football game against Amherst. Eventually, I wanted to become a member of the Robinson Lab, researching the connection between drugs and the brain. Although I don't yet know exactly where my future leads or what my final build will look like, I know that I want to explore my path and continue building at Williams. I am beyond confident that the unique experience and community I will find at Williams will help me discover the next steps in my journey and enable me with the skills to begin turning the wheel of change. Thank you again for taking the time to read my letter and reevaluate my application. Best, Aiden Clarke.
That was really good.
That was really good.
Thank you.
A lot into one letter.
I did check a lot.
That was really long.
Yeah. I just didn't want it to be boring. Cause I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lego definitely made it stand
I
out,
agree.
and it felt very personal.
Yours was, you definitely took it a different direction
Yeah.
than like the examples that we see online.
What did Williams say? Did Williams say anything specifically about writing a letter of continued interest, or did you just email them, or?
after you get waitlisted on the thing, and are right in this box showing us your continued interest in the school. There was no like guidelines or anything. I attached a PDF of like my research supplement, from my you know what I mean, research.
Okay, I'll read mine. For Mich, it was kind of different because they actually told us that they weren't accepting letters of continued interest, or rather, they said that they weren't accepting any additional documents on their website. But after I sent them my letter of continued interest, I sent it to the admissions officer for NYC, like kind of what you did. Like if you go on their website, you can find what person is evaluating based on your region. I sent it to him as well as my admissions counselor that I contacted a couple months prior about something regarding my portfolio. And then I also sent it to like the actual school that I was applying to, like their committee of admissions. And so like they all had kind of different responses to the loci, and the admissions officer actually said that he like pasted that part in the website saying where they don't accept additional documents, and then he added including letters of continued interest, but that was never in the website, so that's why I sent it. But then once he sent it, I was like, oh shoot. But then later the actual school that I had emailed responded, and they were like, oh, thank you for the updates, we'll keep it in your account, like we'll update your admissions file based on these updates. So I don't know, it was kind of like a bit ambiguous if I could even send one. But yeah. Dear Jody Gore and Michigan Office of Undergraduate Admissions, my name is Karen Lynn, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to review my application. I'm writing to reaffirm my unwavering interest in the University of Michigan. If admitted, my enrollment would undoubtedly follow suit, as your institution remains my first choice. Firstly, I'd like to provide some updates since applying to the Stamp School of Art and Design, highlighting my continuous pursuit of creative growth. By updating my portfolio website with short films, I've expanded my videography repertoire, allowing me to both produce my school's promotional Key Club video and earn second place at the statewide leadership training conference video competition. And I had like hyperlinked portfolio website with my actual portfolio. Currently, I'm mentoring students in my school newspaper's photography department, guiding them to develop their own portfolio websites as I have. Inspired by the discontinued Humans of UMich series and my Unveiling the Unheard photo essay about unknown immigrant business owners, I'm honing my members' portrait photography skills for their portfolios by initiating a social media project aimed at spotlighting the often overlooked narratives of our school community. As a recipient of the Most School Spirit Superlative Baccalaureate Award for outstanding service to the senior class and the NYC Comptroller Student Achievement Award, my commitment to community enrichment through creative, innovative means is one I eagerly anticipate bringing to UM, whether through its jubilant university-hosted events or the Michigan Daily, which is their school newspaper. UM's flexibility particularly excites me as it grants me the access to becoming well-rounded in various artistic disciplines. Further, integrating my BFA with a minor in community action and social change aligns seamlessly with my goal of elevating underrepresented voices and driving practical community action through artistry. This this interdisciplinary approach, alongside the university's abundant internship opportunities and ample resources for research, will combine my creative passions with a comprehensive, top-tier education. My personal experiences with UM, from uplifting interactions with admissions counselors to marveling at current students' terrariums made during wind-down events, have strengthened my belief that UM will help me flourish in ways no other university will. I'd like to express my appreciation for reviewing my application once again. I look forward to hearing from you and perhaps the chance to showcase my school spirit on your campus. Go Blue. Sincerely, Karen. I think for me, I couldn't include a lot of info that you had because in the subs that they had asked for, a lot of that information was already asked.
Oh yes, that is something that I did. Because Williams doesn't have subs to have a question. There is, it's an optional sub, or you can send in academic piece of writing that you wrote. So I just sent in my first paper from humanities. So they didn't really know anything about me than what was just in my Common App, and then that random essay, which I'm sure they just were just So that's why I made sure to I thought it would be okay to go over the one page and just include more stuff, some stuff that I'm interested in, just about my life and stuff like that.
I went through the emails that my admissions officer had sent to see if he had kind of a certain structure that he wrote his emails in, and he always ended it off with Go Blue.
Go Blue.
How many paragraphs did you write?
A lot.
I have 5 sections, and then he always made a separate section for Go Blue, so I just included that. But yeah, I also thought it made sense because UMich is really big on school spirit, so I mentioned the superlative and then that last line.
So what I did is I went on YouTube and I watched day in my life videos to find random little niche things that I could mention that I thought would be good. What I will say is that sometimes if you're using a metaphor, it could just get annoying. Not annoying, but
yeah, I feel
overused if you just put it too much all throughout. Sometimes you could just keep it baseline and just
I also feel with metaphors, sometimes the connections can be kind of a stretch.
Oh yeah.
And I feel the admissions officers can see that.
Yeah, and they're reading so many.
Yeah.
They don't have time to be.
Also, I remember when we were both doing that, and I was telling you my entire YouTube search history, which is day in the lives, and people just giving tours of the campus and stuff like that, which I feel is a really great way to enhance your loci, because you get the smaller details that people don't normally mention. I don't know. I think I focused a lot more on my updates than the them aspects because I had the subs to talk about that. Yeah, so I think it really depends on the school.
Yeah. And then I feel if you are doing a school that has subs, it just depends on, I feel don't repeat things that you said in. But I guess a big part of my application from my Common App and then just also my extracurriculars was just kind of leadership, justice, sort of things. So I just wanted to put that again in the loci.
It's nice to have a theme to work around, because yours was a lot about diversity and equity.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of mine was also leadership alongside art.
Even if you don't want to go to the school, guys, even if it's not your number one choice, in reality, you have to make them think it is. You have to just use those words I would die if I didn't go here. Just make them think that. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
I feel we made it, I feel I noticed that when you were talking. You were
yeah,
I love
unwavering
this.
interest. Yeah. But also, I read somewhere that you shouldn't sound desperate.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it would sound very I want your attention.
Yeah.
Rather than you should have my attention. I think also what does help is making kind of a list of things that you do throughout the year. Because I know for SU, that was kind of the easiest way to campaign. A lot of people suggest that, making a list of I worked on this for how long and all these accomplishments, and that kind of helps with compiling that again with your letter of interest. Also, I don't think that's makes any difference, but I remember Sally told me that your letter after the waitlist for a regular decision is actually called an expression of intent rather than a letter of continued interest, because usually that's like when you get deferred. Like, I don't think that makes a difference, but I think the phrasing of it, like, expression of intent, as in, like you definitely want to go there, you know?
I feel like you gotta, like, delve, like, deep into the randomest of things. Like, I was just trying to be random when I was talking about, like, learning Arabic or something, because I was, like, I saw it in one of their, like, courses, and I was like, wait, that would be fun. And then I was just, like, looking up the language, and then that's when I realized that, like, every week they have this, like, round table thing where you can, like, practice your Arabic. So then I included that. Like, that's really random. Like, I wouldn't have known that unless I, like, actively, like, went in there and tried to, like, find out that stuff.
Yeah, but also, you sound genuine because, like, you actually do, like, you do get random with languages. Like, you're, like, interested in languages, like, every now and then. Yeah.
So I think we have to remember is that you're not the only person that got waitlisted and that's writing this letter. And when they're reading it, they're going to be reading, like, so many, especially, like, Karen, like, Mitch is, like, a really, really big school.
Yeah, and a lot of people get waitlisted. I think they're, like, low-key pretty known for waitlisting a lot of people.
Yeah.
My admissions officer, like, emailed me back. He said, like, just remember that if you are waitlisted, it doesn't mean that we don't think you, like, belong in our school, but that, like, we definitely think that you can succeed and you're qualified to attend the school. It's just, like, spots. Like, there weren't enough spots to get everyone. Yeah. Another thing is, I watched a lot of these YouTube videos of current Mitch students going through their application files from when they got accepted during their, like, you know, their senior year. And I feel like that helps a lot because you can see kind of what they're looking for. Like, when people were reviewing their admissions files, they left notes that were, like lack of leadership positions or, like, you know, like, poor writing or stuff like that, like, doesn't show initiative or does show initiative, things like that. You can kind of see the exact criteria, I guess, that they might be considering when they're reading your file.
Definitely, if you know people or you have friends that go to the school, definitely reach out to them and ask them for, like, random things, or just ask them, like, is what you're saying true? Because, like, sometimes the internet is random. I remember what I was gonna say. If you go on Google and you look up the schools, like, it's, like, kind of random. Like, I don't know how accurate it is, but, like, you know, Niche and, like, all those college websites, they'll tell you, like, what type of student the school is typically looking for. So, like, I'm not saying to change yourself for the school, but show that side of you more predominantly throughout the writing.
Yeah, I also think, like, if you were waitlisted, there's probably some part of your application where they saw, like, potential.
Yeah, like, you're right there, you're so close.
Yeah, and so, you know, by kind of just, like, writing your loci, that's where you can make, like what you said, like, make those parts of you that they're looking for stand out.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of your opportunity to, like, redeem or, like, prove yourself, I guess.
Yeah. And ask teacher that you really vibe with to send a updated, like, recommendation letter.
Your school, like, liked that.
Yeah.
Do we have any final words?
Do you have any final words?
If you got waitlisted, you definitely should consider writing a letter of continued interest. As long as they don't say they really do not want one, it's definitely worth doing, because if they're between someone that did and someone that didn't, they might be more likely to choose you. And don't give up, because you guys are all amazing.
Yes, and this also goes for people who are deferred early.
Definitely have faith in yourself, because I feel like for some reason I just couldn't, like, accept the state.
No, I get it.
So I feel like that definitely pushed me to work towards that loci a lot more, but also because I, like, genuinely believe, like, oh, if I put in my best foot, I think this will work out.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think you definitely have to have hope and not just think, like, oh, this is just, like, just a loci, you know, like, just something reaffirming.
Yeah, and just be yourself, because colleges aren't looking for, like, a copy and paste of, like, the perfect student. They want, like, real people.
Yeah, for sure.
And that wraps it up for this episode of the Classics Admitted podcast.
Good
Thank
luck.
you guys so much
Good
for
luck to
coming.
all of you.
Thank you, Aiden. Thank you, Karen. Your locais were amazing. and I wish you all the best. For more Admitted, you could check out our playlist down below and subscribe to us on YouTube at The Classic TV. You could follow us on Instagram at THHSClassic and our website thhhsclassic.com. And this is the final episode of this season, so look forward to next season, and I won't see you then, but
Weightless Warriors, you got it. Kwarteng.